Repetition is key when manifesting. I'm going to tell you why, okay? When you're manifesting SP, more money, appearance changes, whatever the fuck it is, repetition is what's going to help you manifest it. So when I say repetition, what's worked for me the best has been thinking the thoughts, thinking as if I have what I want or I am who I want to be. That is what's helping the fastest, so call that affirming, right? Affirming is just thinking, right? And so for the sake of this video, I'm just going to call it affirming. That's what's working for me for the fastest. Now, of course, you can visualize, you can script. When I do my deep work, I do write down some of my goals and like what I want, but that's not how I think I really manifest. I think it's for me, it's just repetition of thinking. So here's why. Let me explain to you logically, and then you're going to become a believer forever because you're going to see how true this is and how repetition is how to get what you want. And if you have not been getting more money, SP, appearance changes, whatever it is that you're wanting, just your dream life, which is what I've created and continuing to create, it's because of a lack of repetition, okay? Here's why, and I'll explain to you what I mean by repetition in a minute, but here's why this is so important. When you're repeating a thought, let's say for SP, right? SP contacted me, right? Let's say it's money. I made 10K this month, right? Let's say it's appearance change. I'm the sexiest person alive, right? Everyone loves me. I look my best. I'm the sexiest man alive, woman alive, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is for you that you want, and you think that thought, you are taking an action by affirming that thought. Did you know that? You're affirming an action. You're taking action by consciously choosing to think something. Most of us think thinking is not an action, right? We think of thinking and action is very different. I understand that. But when you're consciously thinking, that is taking an action. Because there's involuntary action and there's voluntary action. So involuntary action, for example, is my blood flowing, my heart beating. That's involuntary action, right? I don't have to think about it. It's just happening. Voluntary action is me picking up this pen, right? This is voluntary action, right? Or it's me flexing. Ooh, check out those guns, baby. Right? That's it. So there's involuntary thoughts that you have, okay? It's happening. But then the voluntary thoughts that you choose to have, that's you taking action. When you're choosing to consciously think something, you're taking action. Do you understand that? Yes? Yes or yes? Good. So again, let me tie this into, I love the going to the gym example. If someone's going to the gym to lose weight, okay? What are they doing? They're taking action to lose weight, right? So if they go to the gym once a month and they expect massive results, fast results with their weight loss, is that going to happen? Come on, it's not, right? But if they went every day, if they took action every day, they would start losing the weight. They would manifest their results, right? Their weight loss. It's the same thing with repeating your affirmations, repeating your thoughts. The more you repeat your thoughts every single day, the faster you will manifest the results of those thoughts. Just like going to the gym. This is a very logical process, right? For some reason, we don't think of it that way. Now, are there exceptions? Is there instant manifestation? Yes. Have I manifested instantly? Yes. And I believe that's because something was already there. We had been thinking about it a lot. And in a moment of non-resistance, boom, it showed up, right? We know resistance, which is just opposing thoughts, is what keeps the manifestation from coming, right? And every single opposing thought can be eliminated. You can bypass all resistance on any single topic. There's no topic in the world where someone can say you have too much resistance there with SP, with money, with appearance, and therefore it's just not going to happen. No, of course it can. All you have to do is think the opposite, right? So if someone had put on, let's say, excess 20 pounds that they wanted to lose, right? They might see that as resistance. The body fat is the resistance on their body. How do they lose that? By eating cleaner, by cutting the calories, by going to the gym, by working out. It's very logical, right? In those examples, in those 3D examples, we can see the logic behind it. For some reason, when it comes to manifesting, we don't understand that it's the same fucking logic. It's the same thing, right? So the more you repeat a certain thought, it's going to dominate, it's going to overcome all the resistant negative thoughts about that topic until those resistant thoughts are no more. And then the only thing that's there, that's dominant in your subconscious, are the positive thoughts about what you want. That's it. Your subconscious is a 3D printer. It's going to print out everything you want in your reality. So the more you feed it with the things you want, the more it's going to show you more of that, right? That's it. Repetition is key. So when I was making my first $1 million, I literally was just in this state of being the person who makes $1 million, right? I wanted to do it as a coach at the time. And so I did that on a different platform, or maybe it's the same platform. Who knows where you're watching this? But I did this at the time, and that's what helped me make my first $1 million. So I was literally being the version of me who had those results. Everything else came later, the ideas, what actions I should take, the trial and error, all that stuff, right? And it wasn't all one linear journey, right? But it happened, I think, when I look back at it now, so easily, right? Compared to all the other mumbo jumbo that people do to get the same results. And I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I was like pretty much living a retired life, just doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do. And I made so much money and I was helping so many people. What a dream, right? And that's what I literally created for myself. How? Through repetition, repeating the same thing over and over and over again. So whether it's a thought about money, your brand, let's say you want to have an online business, you want to pursue a passion, hobby, SP, appearance, whatever it is, this fucking works. All you have to do is repeat. So what I do now is I just consciously repeat the thought to put me in that state, right? You're gonna, people will get afraid of this too when I say that. Like, oh my God, I'm not in this state, so it's not gonna happen. That's not true at all, right? Being in this state just means that you're thinking from the state of having that thing. So for example, if I wanted to say, I've made $1 million, right? That's a state I'm in. And I'm in that state because I'm choosing to think that I made $1 million, right? So both go hand in hand, right? You don't have to worry about getting into the state. All I want you to really focus on is to be the version of you who has the thing you want. And to be the version of you who has the thing you want, all you have to do is to think like them. Now, if you want to act like them, great, go for it, right? I don't think it's necessary. I think that comes with the thinking. So if you started to think, for example, that I'm with SP right now, or SP contacted me, let's just say SP contacted me, right? Then I'm all I have to do is think. I don't have to take any action on that. The action will either be inspired, something, I'll end up doing something that creates that contact, and or they'll just contact me, right? If it's money related, again, same thing, right? If I just focus on, hey, let's say I'm starting an online business, and eventually, or right now, let's say quickly, I'm gonna make 10K a month. So I would just say I make 10K a month, right? I make 10K a month. I make 10K a month. I make 10K a month. I don't know how I'm going to make it, right? I don't know how, but I just keep affirming that. I keep being the version of me who makes 10K a month, thinking like him. So what's going to happen is ideas will pop up. I'll see certain things on the internet. I'll see certain ideas. I'll start writing down things like, ooh, what about this? What about that? Ideas will come to me and I'll do some trial and error, right? And the trial and error I do will be very sustainable. It'll be fun. Even if it doesn't work the first few times, I'll keep going. You know why? Because now in my mind, I've kept repeating that I make 10K a month. And so that becomes the pattern, the habitual pattern, right? My mind is continuously, it's like saying it back to me that I make 10K a month. So it's going to spit that out into my reality, right? So then you'll know what actions to take. Everything will unfold beautifully. This happens every single time. I'm telling you, in my life, when I've seen where I've had to take a lot of action that didn't give me results versus very little action or aligned action that didn't feel hard, it was because I spent most of my time thinking as if I have what I want, or thinking as if I'm gonna have what I want, right? I'm gonna pass the exam, I'm gonna get the house, I'm gonna get the car, I'm gonna get the relationship, this is gonna work out, this person will say yes, I'm gonna get the deal, they're gonna give me the free thing, they're gonna, whatever it is, right? When you think from that place that it's gonna happen, right, that you're gonna get it or that you have it, that is how the actions involved in between will seem very effortless, right? And even if it's a lot of effort, you'll be excited to do it, right? There's a difference between, like me, there's nothing that can stop me from making this video right now. I'm just so passionate about it, right? I have to get it out. I want to put it out there. I'm excited, There's nothing else I'd rather do right now. So this is fun for me, right? I don't see this as effort. I don't see this as unwanted action, right? This is inspired action. So that's what I mean, right? So the repetition is important for all those reasons. One, because it's going to get you the fucking manifestation. But two, if action is involved to get you there, it's going to unfold beautifully, and then you'll be inspired to do the next thing. You'll know, right? If you have to kind of think about what to do, or like if an action is inspired or not, it's not inspired. Inspired action is just like, oh, I want to do this. Got to do it. And then you'll do it, right? So I think those are the main things, the most important things I want to kind of go over when it comes to repetition. So just remember, continue to repeat. It's like anything else in life. If you continue to show up to work every day, Monday through Friday, you're going to get the paycheck you believe you're supposed to get. If you go to work one day out of a 2-week period, you're going to get 10% of your paycheck, right? So, I mean, just try to think of repetition logically. The more you repeat something, the more you are putting it into your subconscious, the more you're imprinting it on your subconscious, the more it's going to become a part of your reality. That's it. That's it. Either you'll attract, hence the law of attraction, right? You'll attract those opportunities or things to you, or those people to you, because we know once we think something, it already exists. That's why I think, even though I'm more of a law of assumption guy now, but I still do like some of Abraham Hicks stuff, law of attraction. I'm always gonna love it. I'm a big fan of Abraham Hicks, but I'm more law of assumption now with the way I manifest now because of the recent things I learned, like last year and a half. But I do still think it's pretty much the same thing, right? It's like once you think something, it exists in the quantum field. We are the God of our realities. We are the consciousness, and everything else is a projection outside of us. Like you are the consciousness of your reality. Everything else is a projection, right? So because of that, you just want to remind yourself of, one, how powerful you are, and two, that by you repeating what it is that you want, there's no way that it can't come in, because once you've thought it, it's going to be in the quantum field of all possibilities, because there's infinite possibilities that exist. Once you've thought of something, boom, it exists. It's like less than a millisecond, right? It exists. So now what's going to attract it to you, draw that experience to you, is going to be you focusing on it. Right? How do you focus on something? By thinking about it. Dr. Joe Dispenza does this through meditations, right? So we'll have a lot of his clients or followers, do a 45-minute, 1 hour meditation. He has different types of things he takes them through. And then they're basically being in this state of having the thing that they want, or being in a state of abundance, being in a state of bliss, being in a state of nothingness, right? He has different ways of doing it. But it all comes down to the same thing, right? When you're putting yourself in a state of having the thing you want, and that's why for a lot of people, feeling as if you have it works, because why do we want anything we want? Why do you want SP? Why do you want more money? Why do you want appearance changes? It's because of how you think it's going to make you feel, right? So that's why even Neville Goddard's saying, feel it real. All that means is think as if it feels real to you, right? So there's nothing wrong with feeling good about your affirmations or manifesting. You're supposed to feel good about it. But if you don't, that's also fine, right? I think I mentioned that Sammy Ingram does a great job of kind of debunking the myths that you don't have to feel good or high vibe to manifest. You just have to affirm. You just have to think as if you have what you want, or you're about to get what you want. That's it. And if you do that enough, if you have the repetition, you will get what you want. And that's true. That's a fact. But once you've thought something, like I said, it's out. Right? So the way that you draw it in is by continuing to think about it. That's it, right? Continue to focus on that. So that is one of the ways. Again, I think there's, just like anything else, infinite ways to manifest, right? But this is one of the ways I think is the easiest, one of the ways that I'm enjoying, and I'm trying to make it as fun as I can. So when I'm repeating my affirmations, I'm just imagining myself in the best state. I try to visualize whenever I can. Again, the visualization isn't necessary to manifest, but sometimes it helps for me to be in that state. And then it just really helps, So repetition, continue to affirm the thought, continue to think as much as you can, whenever you remember, throughout the day. Try to have fun with it as much as you can as well. And the more you do it, you'll get what you want, bottom line. If you would like coaching with me to help you with this, with manifesting results with your SP, money, appearance changes, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, go ahead and sign up for coaching with me below. You'll see it in the show notes and or in the comments below. All right, love you guys so much. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Lots of love.